All right, roll call, Jesse.
Brickman. Sims.
Here.
Schmidt.
Here.
Peterson. Bishop.
Here. Thought I heard the door. The city of Grant abides by the Nebraska Open Meeting Act in conducting business. A copy of the Nebraska Open Meeting Act is on display on the south wall as required by the Nebraska state law. The mayor and the city council reserve the right to enter a closed session at any time during the meeting in accordance with the Nebraska Open Meeting Act, even though the closed session may not be indicated on the agenda. It is the intention of the mayor and the city council to take up things on the agenda in the order they're presented. However, we may move different matters around to accommodate our schedule. Anyone wishing to speak during public comment may be limited to 3 minutes per person with a limit of 2 individuals speaking per topic item. And please step up to the agenda. Also, the city of Grant is recording this meeting. Review and action on agenda.
To accept the agenda for January 23rd, 2024.
Second.
Kimberly moved and Sam second to accept the agenda for January 23rd, 2024. Any discussion? Kimberly?
Yes.
Sam?
Yes.
I vote yes as well. Motion carried. All right. Review and action of prior meeting minutes, from January 9th, 2024.
I move to accept action on prior meeting minutes, January 9th, 2024, and then the reading.
Second.
Sam moved and Kimberly second that we approve the prior meeting minutes from January 9th, 2024 and waive the reading. Any discussion? Sam, how do you vote?
Yes.
Attorney?
Yes.
Kimberly? Yes. Motion carried. Thank you. Communication, kind sir.
Absolutely. So some of the communications I provided to you, in email form, because I thought it would be easier, especially with the pictures. So, saw the progress. Hopefully, if you haven't checked your email, apologize. On the pool mural, most of the water is done and we started on the animals. Obviously with the cooler temperatures, he wasn't able to get in there as much as he would have liked. But hopefully now that the temperatures are warming back up, he's able to get in there. He's actually asked if it was okay if some of his older art students come in there and help them. And I said, I don't care how the cookie is made, as long as the cookie is made. So, but I asked him if he would keep a list. We would sign off on National Honor Society hours and anything else that those kids need. So, as well as recognizing them for their contribution to the project. So, good news there. Also in my email that I sent out was the guys have been working on getting a salt sand spreader going. I don't think it's going to be able to stay in that pickup. It's half ton pickup. So we can't quite fill it without truly buckling the suspension on that. So we'll be looking at another vehicle to house that in the future. But for now, it's working. We just wanted to get it up and running. We were able to purchase some salt from the hospital that they could no longer use because of the equipment they're currently using has to have a finer grain. So that's good news for us. We got it at a discount and they're willing to store it for us.
Nice.
So twofold there was great news. They've been testing it Monday, today, or yesterday and today. Had to get a new carburetor for it, but that wasn't a huge deal. And they got that installed today, and now they're working on the shields to make sure it doesn't fly out 25 feet in both directions. So, which wouldn't be bad, but we don't want to salt people's cars. There will be a salt zone mix. There's two theories of thought. I'm sure Tom can weigh in on this as well if you'd like to. Some communities choose to do straight salt, and some communities choose to do straight sand. Salt obviously isn't going to work below a certain temperature. Sand tends to not last as long. When you're talking about traction wise, it tends to get dug in pretty quick. Salt actually melts, sand provides the same traction, so you can go back and forth really as to what's the best methodology there. And I think we're talking about two of the biggest users, Lincoln and Omaha. Both of them differ on their use. So I also sent out our plan for around the hospital, getting to the schools. Those were the yellow highlights, and then the stop signs for intersections. So that's what we're going to be focused on, and then hopefully continue to evolve that plan. And hopefully we have 5 drivers. Or not dry, but mild, sorry. Not dry, but mild limits. So, any questions on what I sent you on those 2 pieces? Okay. Then let's, very quickly, this is a future date here, but I did hear back from the majority of the library board. Sounds like February 12th is going to be the best date to get them all in person for the reschedule of library, the board training with the Nebraska Libraries Commission, Western Management. I forgot the full title. I'm sorry, Cindy Osborne. But February 12th at 5:15 is what we shoot for. It is a Monday, it is the day before our city council. Otherwise, we're into the last week of March, April. I don't want to push this any farther.
All right, thank you for your work on that.
And then, okay, upcoming meetings. So the CRA will meet on the 25th, Thursday the 25th at noon. We did receive the finished preliminary plat from Brian Dickinson, Dickinson Land Surveyors, as well as the infrastructure, the water and sewer from TC Engineering. Thank you, Tom and Brent, for getting that done for us. Just waiting on the natural gas and electric, which will not hold the process up, but the preliminary plat's what we needed in order to move forward. So we can move forward with this. I also included a review of the subdivision regulations for that meeting, so that the CRA knows the next steps afterwards. It requires 2 public hearings, one for the planning commission, one for the city council. So we'll be scheduling those accordingly. Planning commission will meet on the 31st at 1:15. That will not be the public hearing, it's too soon. But that will be their meeting for January for the election of officers. And I'll be talking with them about the plan for an update on the zoning code, as well as the update inside the subdivision. So, and I think I can take care of what Kim was at the Park and Rec, so I'll let her give that update, but that's all I have for meetings now.
Thank you very much. Kimberly?
Yes, so the Park and Rec Committee met yesterday. They did, take care of voting for offices. And they just chose to retain everybody who was in office previously in their current positions. Melissa Wilson, President, Melissa Souter, VP, and Nicole Jane, Secretary. The ball and pool seasons are upon us shortly, so.
All we talked was warm weather, so that was it.
Oh, it was kind of nice, and then we just walked outside into the cold. But around February 5th-ish is when we are going to be looking to do the advertising for ball field and pool help. Spread the word, that would be great. Pool tentatively opening May 26th, weather dependent. Talked about the Jane donation equipment, location for that. They were in agreement. I did not hear last time we met the colors and the pictures that we had seen were not the actual colors. So they are going to actually be silver, green, purple, and pink. Oh, that's fun. Kind of sounds fun. So I thought I'd share that. Yeah. And then there was quite a bit of discussion around future planning. There is going to be a survey going out to the community, kind of like what we did with the sirens, just to gauge interest. What would you like to invest in with regard to recreation, and how would you like to help pay for that? those types of questions, so that will be coming out, we get that finalized.
Okay. This week, so we can be out to the public the same, the 6 weeks until we get.
And we'll put it on the website.
Website, Facebook, I'll put it in the paper.
And it sounds like the committee members are doing a lot of their own research on grants, what's available out there, and, being pretty serious about future planning, which is great. Nice. And that covered everything.
All right.
All right,
Perfect. Thank you very much for doing that.
yeah.
Terry?
Anything? Zoom?
Yeah, it's done.
All right, very good.
I did have one other note. We did reach out to the library to see if they would have their annual report, which should have been on this meeting. It is due statutorily on or before the second Monday in February. We were told it was not ready, so I expect that to be on the February 13th agenda. It's outside the statutory requirements, so just so you know.
All right, thank you. I think that's pretty typical. All right, financials, Jesse?
I think they were December where you only had the one side of bills and claims and stuff, that was pretty straightforward. I don't think I had anything that really stood out unless one of you had noticed.
Please note, we accept the report as presented.
Lisa, I'd also like to mention that we did not host the water rate survey with Randy Helbush due to extreme temperatures at that time.
Oh, yeah, that's
He is going to reschedule with us, currently looking at the end of January or early February timeframe.
the water rate study then?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right, good to know. Let's see. Public comment? All right. Let's move down to new business. It's not quite 7:15 yet, so we can't start the public hearing, and we might want to get Tom on the road as soon as we can, so let's move down to new business A.
So if that goes with
That goes.
Goes with it.
That'll be.
Well, maybe we can just look at it, see if we have any questions before we go to the
You could talk about the Nebraska municipalities. Lisa.
See,
okay, yeah, that'll be up there.
So
2 minutes.
I do, just in mentioning with that, I do have two board members, or, sorry, the mayor, one board member who replied to attend the main conference in March. We normally put out the attendance for the League of Nebraska Municipalities midwinter. So if any of you are wanting to attend, Andrea said she would be willing to attend, but she didn't want to go by herself. So she needs a travel buddy. Jesse will be going as well on behalf of the administration sides.
Were any of you interested in going,
I would have liked to go, but my time off requests have already been filled through July, and so.
Okay.
We ask months in advance.
It's not, I mean, we've got the agenda in front of you. It is a lot of repeats of what we've seen
yeah,
here.
it is.
Jesse will be attending a lot of the concurrent sessions. So I'm sure we'll get a full update from her afterwards, but
Will we get an update from the one session? With Lynn?
yeah. And they usually do a packet or print out a packet as well for that individual section. So I really hate that I'm gonna miss Lynn Rex's legislative update, so.
Yeah, because I think that's one of the most helpful things for the city.
Yeah.
It is those updates.
Yeah.
Okay, so no, that sounds like it's gonna drop to the. I cannot attend. Okay, all right. And 7:15. We'll go ahead and open the public hearing for the proposed purpose of reviewing the proposed City of Grant 1 and 6 street improvement program at 7:15.
Okay, we do have Tom Merkel here, city engineer, street engineer, as well as in the packet is the forms 7, 6, 8, 9, and 11, the map, and then my Word document, we're tracking the street projects. Tom, 4 years.
All right, well, thank you. As we do each year, we have this 1 and 6 road hearing and the public is invited to attend and offer comments. We haven't had that happen actually occasionally, so that's nice to have. The front of the page, it shows that you get about, over $200,000 a year from the state, and folks, they want you to do something to be accountable for that once they have a public hearing. Also, Desi, I brought along Desi's, financial statement she just sent me. She sends me this every month, and it's a report on the street expenditures and revenues, which is good to do. That's what we used to do, and we don't anymore. Have to turn that in. We do a lane mile report. That's also due in roughly about May when we return that. So, but so you get about $17,000 a month. The second page is the map. Shows street projects that we have done and are anticipating that we could do. Excuse me, and of course, each one of those has a number. The M311 is your municipal number as a city grant for us, so that's why it's 311. So then like 41, the mark in yellow is the project downtown, which is completed. 45 is the improvements we did near the clinic that are completed. And then 43 was the intersection of 6th and Warren that was completed. So those all are actually going to come off after this year. And we show, phase 2 of the project on South Central. We also show 3rd Street as a project in our several intersections. Still in that drainage project down in the very southwest corner of the Strand. Each of those projects has a Form 7, which describes what they are, and we'll go through all those Form 7s. But if you have any particular questions, I'd be glad to answer them. Try to predict pretty closely what the costs are. It's a little hard to define because the city has expenses in there as well as us and as contract officers. So you do your best to try to give a pretty fair, accurate picture of what the cost was. So that the 1-year plan I showed project number 39, and again, none of these are mandatory. The reason I'm having the hearing. 39 is the street project on 3rd Street. And then the following summary of the 6-year plan or Form 9 is the all the projects that could be done. They're just not in any particular order. They're just ordered by number actually is about all they are. Then Form 11 is the last one, and it shows what's been done in the last year, when it was completed and how much it cost to do the work, which is contract for city forces. It's kind of a very brief picture. I believe that you guys have had this through. Do you have any questions I can answer or predictions you want to make or changes?
I did talk to Tom about the next water project on Logan Avenue, and then adding Logan Avenue to 1 and 6. He is aware of our intentions there.
So that would be a 6-year project.
Yes. Yep.
And then Andrea did ask me to ask if we had any funds to do any of the dips at the intersections.
Yeah, we do. I mean, our plan was to start with the first phase of 3rd Street from Garfield, roughly 445 linear feet to the west, since the water project is now complete on that side of town, and it's one of the worst streets in town, but
Yeah.
So can we roll over? Because I mean, that's 130, and we have 100,000. So can we roll that 70 grand over the next year?
the 130 does not include the engineering costs.
Okay.
So
We did have some extra capital outlay, of course, in there this year, with the storm drain. That we did have in the street department also.
which was roughly 30,
30,000.
And her other comment is she is in favor of continuing south of town also. So, and I think both of those items are on our list.
Yeah, actually, the next intersection, I have slated is, Sixth and Lincoln, in 2026. And then the next phase in south of town, in 2027, the next year after that. So
And in between there, we need to
in
also,
between, yeah, after this year, we need to do an Armor Code project. Everybody's favorite
Everyone's
project. Especially Bill's.
do you guys have any questions or concerns?
And
or-
the plans that you have up there are for the first phase, or well, Third Street. The Third Street project. We would have to do that because we can't do that. Unfortunately, our funds don't allow us to do the whole thing at once. Similar to
How
going
many years is this then?
3 years.
If we start on Third Street, that's all we're gonna do for the next 3 years?
No, actually, if you look at my Word document, Sam, I have the first phase of Third Street, in 2020, this year. The second phase of Third Street in 2028, and the third phase in 2029.
Yes, okay, yeah, okay, great.
So no, I don't want to just stick with one. I want to hit the intersections and I want to go back to south of town and hit that.
Yep.
As well.
Gotcha.
But those potholes on Logan slow people down.
I don't disagree with
You
you.
don't.
I don't disagree
I
with
was
you.
kidding.
But I would like to widen and at least, resurface this. That's all.
So if we have our new subdivision, are we gonna have to do some adjustment to this then?
Once a new subdivision is on there, we have two routes. I think we kind of talked about it a little bit before. We can do a street improvement district, or we can put it on the 1/6.
Actually, we should probably put on the 160.
Right, and whether it's a street improvement district or we are financing it, it's still gonna be on the 1/6.
Right.
Gotcha, okay.
Did you want to put that on this year? I mean, not for next year.
Not until the infrastructure is in place. Just like we did with the water project.
Probably a couple more years and then it'll be on.
Maybe
Over
next year.
Yeah, okay.
Next year. No, Lisa, next year.
Next, oh yeah. I keep forgetting it's 2024, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Fair argument. We've only been in 2024 for 23 days. So,
Any public comments? You guys are good, are you sure?
Yeah,
I said, we're
I
up
came to see
the
Tom.
floor.
Yeah. No, all good. I mean, I got brought.
if you'd like. I don't.
No, we all know the reinvestment in, streets and curb and gutter and drainage and so forth. I mean, it's expensive, but it's good, there's a lot of rural communities that are really wrestling with that because it is expensive and it's big, long-term, but it's a long-term investment in the community, meaning, hey, if we don't conduct a straw poll in terms of who wants, half the streets in town to just tear them up and go back to gravel. Well, no, that's not a very good luck. If you don't need paved streets, you also don't need a swimming pool. You don't need this, you don't need that. Next thing you know, we're just gonna say you're not having nothing. Yeah, so there's the speech. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
One other thing, Tom and I will continue to watch the economics of whether it's more beneficial to do asphalt versus concrete.
But they're getting pretty close.
They're starting to separate a little bit.
Oh, they are.
But as long as concrete's close, we'll continue to do concrete.
Well, considering the age, I mean,
Yeah.
how long concrete lasts compared to asphalt. Concrete, in my mind, only wins.
Yes,
So,
yeah. So just know that we are continuing to watch that. Well, I'll continue to have Tom bid it both ways with asphalt and concrete. or
Yep, that's
the
good.
estimate, so at least we know. We're making this decision and it could save money by going asphalt, but there is the disparity of length of life. age of the surface, you know, we get 15 years, maybe 20. If you take care of it and you seal it, you do all the things you need to do, and you get 30 years out of concrete as long as you crack seal it and, you know, fix the breaks and all that stuff, so. But just know that we're not stuck on concrete. Right now, it's the better option of the two, but maybe oil plummets and asphalt is more economical. Right, we can do twice as much.
Nope, we'll just keep it.
Someday.
going.
It wasn't that long ago, it was worlds apart.
Mhm. All right, well, I didn't have any concerns, I didn't talk about. What about you guys, anything?
No, no questions, Randy.
Thank you, Tom. Okay, guess we'll, close the public hearing at 7:26. And we will go ahead and skip to new business, action and discussion on resolution 230103, approval of, adoption of the City of Grant 1 and 6 street improvement program.
Nothing further there unless you have another
Yeah.
question that we didn't already answer, so.
I will make a motion to accept resolution 230103, the approval of the 1 and 6 year street improvement program.
Second. Kimberly moved, Tierney second, that we accept resolution 230103. Any more discussion? Tierney, how do you vote? Yes. Kimberly?
Yes.
Sam?
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you very much. Action and discussion, I'm gonna just continue with the street improvement project, and then we'll go back up to unfinished business. Action and discussion on selection of the 2024 street improvement project.
And so really, if we start phase 1 of Third Street, that's it for the budget.
We could do less on Third Street, but I mean. I'd like to at least do the
Okay,
full
not like
block.
elsewhere, yeah. I don't know.
I mean, we compromised last year, we did some, intersections and that kind of stuff, and an intersection, so I mean. I think it's a big project that needs to get done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and now we can actually do it, so.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Do we need to call that out as phase 1 of Third Street?
If you
If
would,
that's
please.
the direction we're going?
And move to go out for bid.
And allow.
Okay. Anybody else want to take that? Would you like me to?
Got it.
I will go ahead and make a motion then to select the phase 1 for Third Street as our 2024 street improvement project and authorize us to go out to bid.
Authorize TC Engineering.
Authorize TC Engineering to go out to bid. Thank you.
Second.
Kimberly move and Sam second that we do the Third Street Phase 1 project for 2024, authorizing TC Engineering to go out for bid. Any more discussion? Kimberly, how do you vote?
Yes.
Tierney?
Yes.
Sam?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you for joining us as
Yes.
usual.
Drive safely?
You have marching orders you just heard, so.
All right. I would like to stay and listen to the discussion on the policy manual. but
Okay.
I don't think I-
Riveting. It's exciting, let me tell you that.
Oh.
It's getting icy out. Be careful.
Thank you for joining us. Yes. All right, well, move back up to
Neil, you left your stuff.
Neil.
Well, I'm covered back.
Okay.
Just walking into a pickup.
Okay.
I mean.
All right, back up to. I did have one thing, should we just go through it, like we did last time, page by page?
Or just change it just like we did last time, if anyone has a list they'd like to go through.
Yeah, I just did jump pages, whatever you want.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever's easiest for you guys.
All right, the only, change that I had to do with, breaks. I'm not sure what page that is on. Shit.
Told me what they said, I didn't write it down, sorry. I mean, I wrote it down what the change was, but not the date.
Another page. All right,
And 27.
There you go, thank you,
thank
Jesse.
you.
Another question.
So, I know we have meal breaks, and rest periods shall not be taken in conjunction with the beginning and end of employees' scheduled shift. I'd also like to add that meal breaks and rest periods shall not be taken in conjunction with each other. So because one is unpaid and one is paid. A rest period is meant to be a rest period separate from the meal break.
So don't take your 30-minute lunch and your 2 15-minute break.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
Right.
Gotcha.
It seems fair. Yeah.
My question was on the paper timesheets we're gonna do, is that just for extra redundancy for now? On the top of that page, time clock timesheets?
So, specifically the public works employees working separate departments,
Okay,
so they have to break down what hours they work in each
All right.
department.
no problem.
Because we break that down for health insurance, insurance, it gets broken down on a percentage based on how many hours they work in each department, so.
That's for workers' comp, majorly, and then of course, we get it started for the utilities and all that.
I have to do stuff to triplicate work for insurance providers, that kind of stuff, so anything, anytime I can avoid that, I would for somebody else. But if that's the way it needs to be done, it's the way it needs to be done.
Fortunately, it doesn't simplify that much, but
I work at 3 time clocks, I take track.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah. Just the way it is.
Are you allowed to take all your breaks?
No.
I guess I'd just like to single out what I worked the most on, which is the on-call policy.
What page?
Page 26. So I did, reach out and try and get some sort of a, apples to apples comparison, but literally, the only 2 that were the same were 2 communities like us that did not offer an on-call policy. Otherwise it ran in hand. Some communities paid for the whole week as a lump sum, some paid per day, some paid their hourly wage for 2 hours minimum every day. It just ran in hand. So I took a stab at what I thought was maybe middle ground, for the communities that were paying on a per day basis. And then try to look at the ones that were paying on a lump sum week basis and divide that out per day. Got close to the $20 range, so I mean, I'm not stuck there, and I'm not stuck on actually anything. I just tried to take a stab at it and see what your guys' thoughts are. Obviously, we're gonna see this stuff one more time, and then it'll be 30 to 60 days before it's implemented.
And one of the reasons that have this on here so many times is so the employees have a chance to come and voice
Yes,
any concerns, and I did pass that on to the employees at the library at the board meeting, and Ed has passed on to the rest of the employees.
yep, we have a month, I had a meeting with them already about it, got their feedback. I mean, they did not like getting paid for on-call, but they didn't specifically ask for it. And yes, I also provided this to the library. I have not heard from anyone major or shadow.
Oh, I got a little bit of pay on that day, I think it just text us, or text them a little bit, and it kind of ties with this policy a little stronger, if they are paying, then give them a call. And I don't think it has to be a significant amount, because they do come in, they get time and a half.
Right.
So, I'm fine with the $20 a day, And they didn't carry either way, so I think it should be about an extra $20, for every day. And I thought it's actually, this section was actually really good.
Yeah.
You did a good job.
Yeah. Thank you for, thank you for working.
It was a
so
stab
hard.
in the dark, to be
Yeah,
honest with you.
And now we'll run it through the.
The only thing I had kind of is, I still thought we didn't have really completely the whole callback addressed, but that they aren't the one on call. That we were kind of having that discussion about,
Right.
if it was affecting their vacation or sick leave, if we want it to be that way, or to have it that we have authorization of the mayor can, have it flow through to the time of their staff, or that they can use their vacation and sick leave at that point, or how you guys want to handle that, I guess.
Any thoughts?
Well, we're asking them, they're gonna get, well,
Sorry, go
well, if they're coming in for a call extra, we're paying them time and a half. So I think that's the reward.
No, that's what I'm saying, is we still have the sick and vacation, but that it's still in there that we aren't gonna count that towards our 40 hours. So if they're called back, it would be towards the 40 hours at that point, so we don't have it defined differently at that.
So about the second employee or the
Yes.
first?
The second employee that would have to come in for that emergency.
Okay, so if the second employee has to come in for emergency, we're gonna pay them time and a half. The question is, does that count towards their 40 hours for the week?
Now, the question is, so that employee have vacation hours that week. So do we reduce the hours of vacation, or do we pay them the overtime and not reduce their vacation? Which we've done with the mayor's authorization.
So let's just play like the scenario game here. So they had Monday, Tuesday off, and they were gonna take Wednesday, Thursday off, and we called them in on call.
Yeah.
So we pay them time and a half for Wednesday, Thursday.
We would reduce their vacation.
How would you reduce their vacation there?
So if they took 16 hours for those 2 days and they worked 2 hours on a Wednesday callback, we would reduce those 16 to 14 hours of vacation.
Yeah, we shouldn't do that.
No, how often does that?
I agree, but that's the way it's currently written.
No,
So
we-
otherwise vacation section count towards.
Right.
No, we don't take away people's vacation for them coming to do extra work, absolutely.
But they're called back. I mean, it could be
Yeah.
commonly if it's that we have just overtime that week potentially, but
The only way it takes away is if it's on a vacation day. And they come in, they're getting vacation there that day, right? I'm on vacation for Wednesday, right? And so I come in and I actually work time and a half, I get paid time and a half for that. It would shorten that specific day by 2 hours. I would get 6 hours of vacation and 2 hours of time and a half, but it wouldn't go retrograde and take away my Monday, Tuesday.
yeah, it would because we're on.
No, it shouldn't. I understand,
We're on 40 hours.
I understand that's what you're saying it does, but it should not do that. The way it should work is once I get past that 8-hour window of my vacation, I got it. And then the next day, once I get past the 8 hours of vacation, I got it. And then on Thursday, when I get called in for 2 hours, I get 6 hours of vacation and 2 hours, cause that's what I did that day. That's how it needs to happen.
But our problem is we can't pay it over the 40 hours. Even at regular rates or anything.
What do you mean?
So that would need to be then approved for you, because it's not by workers, like.
So what do we need to fix?
So what I'm asking is, do we want that wording in this policy stating that what we just said, that you will get paid time and a half if you are called back in an emergency.
I thought we corrected that by saying that any on-call is time and a half, period, so we're not really.
Where you're still not addressing the vacation.
For the second employee, the
The very rare situation.
very rare situation where we need 2 employees because it's a sewer backup and one person.
They're not getting the
Truck.
$20 to have been on call, but when they're coming in, they're getting time and a half because they've been called in.
Right.
Yeah, they agreed to come in on their time, on their day off.
Right.
But that's not defined in here.
Right.
But call back, essentially.
Okay, so we need a second call in subsection where basically you don't lose your vacation and you get time and a half of the hours that you work.
Right, but if it's just an ordinary thing, then that does not apply.
No, we can-
I'm not talking about like, because the reason we put that in place was because,
We don't want to use vacation to get to an overtime situation.
Right,
That
right.
was happening. So an employee would take 4 days of vacation, and then if they worked 10 hours on Friday,
they would
they
get,
would get 2 hours of overtime.
right,
Yeah, I got what you're saying.
So we don't want that to be the regular situation, but I guess vacation or no vacation, if you're called in to work for the city, you should be paid time and a half.
Yes,
To me, I think you just make it simple and you just say that the maker has the discretion to decide whether or not those vacation hours are. So that then we can look at it if it's.
because it's an emergency situation,
Right,
or it's not,
Right.
right?
yes, let's do it that way.
But we should reward people for coming in on their time off.
Right.
And I think that's, should,
And then
you know, should,
through the city.
whether it's in the manual or not, we should write where that should be the standard.
I just need to have it formally in writing so that we have a procedure.
Well, you could write it out and just say by mayor approval.
Right,
Right.
and I'm
Just
so.
be
Yeah,
very-
and add that-
An extra
But that,
paragraph.
that wasn't even in there.
And I
Okay,
think that
good.
that is good because that allows us to figure out like how often is this scenario happening? Is it something we would need to write down into a policy at some point?
And it doesn't have to be just the second person, it can be the fact that the whole sewer blew up right in front of your house and 4 guys gotta show up and clean up. I want all those 4 guys to be really motivated to clean up out of my front
I
yard.
sure do.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah,
We want them to be like, yes, time and a half.
exactly.
You're the fourth one, sorry.
All right.
Yeah, time and a half.
Don't worry, they call me
To be
anyways.
salary.
Okay,
Hey, can you come help? Yeah, sure.
was there any other parts that anybody else?
It was, the averages thing,
Yeah,
it was just kind of weird that it worked out that it was, that third column is the average of that, so it was very easy to average when it was already done.
Sweet.
Sorry, I know, it just completely came out of the blue with that one, but sorry, vacation
That's
time
the next
accrual,
page.
page
Yeah.
29.
I was right with you.
thank you.
All right. And did the library have any, or the library board have any input or comments? They've had the opportunity and just wondering.
They've had it just as long as everyone else. No, I have nothing from them, no suggestions, no changes, no questions, nothing,
Okay,
concerns.
Oh, and I think in the one that got emailed out, I did went ahead and highlighted it before I copied so that we didn't forget the next time that proof of satisfactory completion on page 38. We changed, so it didn't have that,
I thought,
okay, yep,
so,
yes, thank you.
yes.
That makes a lot more sense than trying to track.
Well, some of the certifications we're talking about are not a grade.
Yeah, right,
completion.
yeah, it was half
It's a pass or fail.
and I liked your merit pay increase, actually took out the 1%, so it is, it actually doesn't limit it, but also requires us to have authority, so I think that's written well too.
Mhm.
All right, going easy after this time.
Well, we went through a lot of it last time.
All right.
Well, if you think of anything between now and our next meeting, get back to me and we'll send those changes out. So,
That's it.
Thank you everyone for taking the time to look through that again. I know that it was very time consuming. And we are down to action on bills and claims. Did everyone get a chance to look at those?
Yes. And you accept action on bills and claims with an amount of $199,118.72.
Second.
Terry moved and Sam second that we accept the bills and claims in the amount of $198,118.72. Any discussion?
I apologize, just off the wall here, it says sort of relate to bills and claims, but I meant to give an update on the meeting that I went to, which is in the bills and claims mileage. We have toyed around with a number, and I think last year, I told you guys about a potential increase in double digits. That number actually got staved off due to projects being realigned, and capital improvement projects being aligned within their footprint. We did vote and approve at this meeting on a 5% overall increase in the mean rate. What does that mean for us? That's a 1.5% increase in our energy rate charge. It's built into our budget. We can absorb it for sure this year and still meet our fiscal policy. However, they are suggesting a potential for an additional 3% for the next 3 fiscal years, each fiscal year. So we need to take a serious look at our electric rates in this upcoming budget season, and the potential for an electric rate increase is very real. And again, I'm not talking huge numbers. We're probably talking about 2%. But this, their budget, or their fiscal year is April 1 through March 30. So that rate won't even go into effect until April 1. So that benefits us to have an aspect too. So we'll look at it in the budget season. I just want you to know that we did approve that increase.
Okay.
I say we because I understand.
Thank you for that, Megan.
Sorry, it was in the bills and claims and I just forgot. I was sitting with us. Thank you.
Well, I bet we need to know that.
Yes.
All right, so we have a motion on the floor to accept building claims in the amount of $198,118.72. Any discussion? Sam, how do you vote?
Yes.
Tierney?
Yes.
Kimberly? Yes. Motion carried. We are adjourned at 7:47. Nice meeting. Thank you, everyone, for all my good input. Brainstorming through that policy. No. Interesting meeting.
I checked on you.
Thanks.
I knew I needed.